Hi everybody, Yoon here again with another video tutorial. Today we'll be doing more texturing, but the model we're going to be doing is slightly more complex. It is a two-piece model. One piece is the door, and the other piece is the frame that holds the door together. So what we are going to be doing is painting two separate texture types. In essence, I'm going to be painting a wooden texture and the metal texture by itself. So just make sure you have your UV laid out properly. Those two pieces have been laid out on one UV map just to make texturing a little bit easier. So as always, you want to start by using elements you've created before. I'm using my wood texture as usual. And this is useful because it speeds up workflow. I have said it a few times that if you can, whatever you can do to make your workflow faster, you should do it. So don't go the hard way and start painting each individual wooden texture out. That's one of the misconceptions people tend to have, is that texture artists are just constantly painting each element on each new model just to make things a bit unique. Well, it's true in some cases, but most cases they're just reusing a lot of assets, like I am here. The only exception here is this ornament that I haven't actually pre-made any elements previously, so I actually had to paint this in manually. As always, if you're going to paint something in, you need to bring out the depth of your texture just by giving a little bit of extra shade for the lighting. I always tend to keep the lighting coming from the top left, and because it's such a small deal, it's okay. You can paint that in manually whenever you get to it. So that doorknob right there is what we're painting now. Metal textures have a slightly different feel. They don't have line streaks like you see in a wood texture, and the values, the darkness and brightness values, are slightly more contrasting than compared to wood. Wood textures tend to be very flat, very diffused, whereas metal textures have higher contrast between bright and darknesses. So keep that in mind whenever you're painting those in. And I'm painting this metal texture on a separate layer. There are the patterns you want to paint to give the metal texture a bit more depth. Is obviously you want to put in the little nails or screws in. So don't forget to paint those little things in. And the actual surface itself can be a little bit more rough. There are fewer lines, they're more dots than anything, and they're more little random rocky dots. So follow the rock rock tutorials if you want to get a similar feel to its diffuse pattern. So once you have that texture done, you just want to burn the edges just to give it a little bit of extra realism. And what I've created there is a specular map. The specular map will bring out those metal decals a little bit more, because you don't want the wooden texture to be too shiny. You just want the metal texture to bring out that extra specularity. And once you have that, you are pretty much finished. So as always, guys, this tutorial is a little bit more complex than the other ones, but it's always good practice just to get more familiar with UV mapping and texturing. So in essence, that's your wooden door complete. As always, if you like this content, please subscribe. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I will see you next time.